Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we untangle the financial mess and see if the Emperor is actually wearing any clothes, and Simmons First National Corporation's latest report definitely gives us something to talk about. Alright, so what we have here is a current report filed by Simmons First National Corporation. Think of this as a company's way of quickly telling us about important events that happened since their last big update. This particular filing is labelled an 8K, which means it is for significant news, and it was filed on the 16th of October 2025. Before we dive into the juicy bits, if you get value from us breaking down these complex financial documents into plain English, make sure you are subscribed. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description below. It is a great place to connect with fellow finance enthusiasts. Now, the meat of this filing is really about announcing some important financial information. It seems like on the 16th of October 2025, Simmons First National Corporation put out a press release that contained their latest financial results. This is pretty standard stuff for companies that are publicly traded like Simmons First National Corporation. They want to make sure investors and the public know how they are doing financially. The filing itself incorporates that press release as Exhibit 99.1. What this means is that the company is sharing its performance numbers. While the document mentions that this information is being furnished and not officially filed in a way that makes the company liable under certain sections of securities law, it's still a critical piece of information for anyone tracking Simmons First National Corporation. We have to infer what might be in that press release, but the spirit of these filings is to disclose how the company is performing. Following that, there is also a disclosure under Regulation FD. This regulation ensures that all investors receive the same information at the same time, preventing any unfair advantages. So, in addition to the financial results press release, Simmons First National Corporation also issued an investor presentation on the same day, the 16th of October 2025. This presentation, which is Exhibit 99.2, would likely offer a more visual and detailed explanation of their financial condition and strategic outlook. These presentations are often used to paint a more complete picture for shareholders and potential investors, walking them through the numbers and explaining the story behind them. It's like getting the Cliff's Notes version of the financial report, often with charts and graphs to make it easier to digest. And finally, to wrap up the filing, we have the list of exhibits. This section just confirms everything that's being attached to the report. You've got Exhibit 99.1, which is that press release about their financial results, and Exhibit 99.2, the investor presentation. Therese also Exhibit 104, which is the cover page information in a digital format that's easy for computers to read. This digital format is becoming increasingly common and helps with data analysis and regulatory tracking. Now let's talk about what this all means. While this specific 8K doesn't contain the financial tables directly within it, it points us to where the truly important information lies, the press release and the investor presentation. These are the documents where Simmons First National Corporation would have highlighted their key financial metrics. Think about what we would expect to see. They would likely be talking about things like their earnings per share, which is how much profit they made for each share of stock. They would also probably discuss their revenue, which is the total amount of money they brought in from their business operations. We know that Simmons First National Corporation trades on the Nasdaq Global Select Market under the ticker symbol SFNC. This tells us they are a fairly significant company that investors can easily buy and sell shares of. Companies like this use these 8K filings to keep the market informed about significant performance updates. Without seeing the actual press release and presentation, we can only infer, but typically a company will either celebrate strong performance or explain challenges. If the numbers were good, they'd be talking about growth in loans, deposits, or profitability. If they weren't so good, they might be explaining why, perhaps talking about economic headwinds, increased competitive changes they are making. Let's consider what a strong report might look like for a company like Simmons First National Corporation. We would expect to see increased net interest income, which is the difference between the interest they earn on loans and the interest they pay on deposits. Wednesday also be looking for growth in their loan portfolio, meaning they're lending more money out, and a healthy increase in deposits, showing customers trust them with their money. If they're managing their expenses well, their efficiency ratio would also be a key number to watch, indicating how effectively they're turning revenue into profit. On the flip side, a weaker report might show declining loan volumes, perhaps due to higher interest rates making borrowing more expensive or increased competition from other financial institutions. Deposit growth might slow down or even decline if customers are seeking higher yields elsewhere. An increase in non-performing loans, which are loans unlikely to be repaid, would be a major red flag, suggesting potential future losses. This filing provides the roadmap to that crucial information. It signals that Simmons First National Corporation has made some sort of announcement about their financial performance and strategic updates. It's a prompt for investors and analysts to dig into those exhibits to get the full story. The fact they are filing an 8K means whatever they are reporting is considered material or important enough to warrant immediate disclosure outside of their regular quarterly reports. So, looking at this from a higher level, Simmons First National Corporation is complying with the rules by keeping its investors informed. But the real story, the financial health and operational performance, lives in those attached exhibits. Without those details, this 8K is like a headline without the article. However, its existence tells us that Simmons First National Corporation is actively communicating its progress or challenges to the market. This immediate disclosure is a key part of maintaining investor confidence and ensuring a fair and transparent market. The date of the filing, the 16th of October 2025, gives us a timeframe for when this information became public. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Simmons First National Corporation, like many regional banks, is likely navigating a complex economic environment. Interest rates, inflation, and regulatory changes all play a significant role in their performance. The information in their press release and investor presentation will tell us how effectively they are managing these factors. Are they growing in a sustainable way, or are they facing headwinds that are impacting their bottom line? This filing is the starting point to find out. My take on this is that while this 8K itself is a procedural document, it is a clear signal that investors need to pay attention. We need to pull up Exhibit 99.1 and 99.2 to understand the actual financial picture. The mere act of filing this tells us there is news, and typically that news is about financial performance. It's always a good idea to approach these reports with a critical eye to see if the company is presenting a balanced view of its performance, acknowledging both successes and challenges. So, what is my conclusion here based on this 8K? It's incomplete without the actual financial data, but it's an important call to action for anyone interested in SFNC. The company has released information that they deem significant. The next step is to find the press release and investor presentation to see the numbers, understand the trends, and form an educated opinion on Simmons First National Corporation's direction. Alright, that is our quick decoder for this 8K filing. What is your take on these interim disclosures? And what do you think Simmons First National Corporation might be announcing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this breakdown was helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And subscribe for more in-depth financial analysis. And don't forget to join our Discord community for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.